A lot of people externalize themselves. When I say this, what I'm referring to is the action of putting yourself outside of yourself, but looking for fulfillment, right? Looking for other people to validate it. And oftentimes, what happens is you just end up in chaos because you are tuning yourself into other people that are exceedingly volatile. They are all over the place. And I've noticed this especially when it comes to like the news. Like when you tune into the news is all over the place. It really is. They give you stories that are in so many different areas. There's no stability there. There's no center. And I find people to be very much the same as that. Um, a majority of people that I listen to, I hear talk about things that are practically irrelevant to their lives. And it's very strange. It, what it points towards to me is distraction. People don't want to look at themselves because there's potentially a lot of pain that comes with looking at the self. So they tune into things that are irrelevant, that have nothing to do with their lives, and therefore they give their frame to that. And then therefore their frame then becomes chaotic and volatile. Frame, of course, being the boundaries of the self, right? Knowing where you begin and where you end, which it's not rocket science. It's right here, and that's it. And what's so interesting about this is that people do this and then they get stressed. It's very interesting because you can usually tell when somebody is addicted to drama, when they're addicted to gossip and chaos and all of that stuff. What you'll usually see when somebody is addicted to that stuff is that consistently in their life. People usually like the attention. They like noise. They like to believe that, it's just necessary in their life. But this is, of course, grounded in, or not grounded, rooted in childhood, trauma that people have experienced growing up. And the interesting thing is, too, like, I've been noticing this dynamic in people lately. I've been listening to people talk and everything, and I've been listening to the way that they, communicate, the types of relationships that they hold, right? I've been listening, and what I've been realizing is, okay, you probably didn't get the healthy attention that you needed growing up. And so, therefore, you create it in unhealthy, unsafe, and unstable ways that are exceedingly dysfunctional in your own life. And it's very interesting because the more I notice this dynamic in other people, the more I bring my energy back to myself. And it's been a very interesting process because I know that in previous videos, months ago, I have explored how I have recognized that previously I have been attracted to these dynamics of chaos, of drama, of gossip, of volatility, unpredictability, right? And I know where it comes from. I'm not going to explore that in this video because boundaries are important to me. However, I am now in the process of stepping away from all of that stuff, right? What we don't realize we actually want. You ask somebody if they want stress, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. Of course, they don't want stress, but that's what they're used to, and because that's what they're used to, that's what they're going to seek out because that's what's familiar to them. They are addicted to the hormones of stress, adrenaline, and cortisol. They also didn't get the right type of attention growing up. They didn't get healthy, safe, and stable attention growing up. And so, therefore, they look for it in other people. But in unhealthy ways, right? They seek they seek that stuff in unhealthy ways in other people, and people don't actually want that. If you were to, at least in my honest opinion, in my beliefs, if you were to really like wake up from everything, right? If you were to wake up from all of the shit that you've been through, and even what it is that you're still partaking in, what it is that you're still seeking, what it is that you're still attracting. If you were to wake up from everything, just like actually like open your eyes, right? Start looking around you. Realize what stress has done to you and what it continues to do to you. And how much time you've spent in that space of awareness, and how much time you haven't spent in the space of awareness, of stillness, of creation, of flow, you'd be pretty pissed. Flow is a beautiful thing. Creation is a beautiful thing. Being able to create things is a beautiful thing. Not being in that space of awareness is, just in my honest opinion, unproductive. And it's not doing for you the best possible thing that it could be doing for you. So that's part of the issue. But yeah, this also goes back into the mindless programming that we've experienced growing up. I was previously watching something on social media, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, wow, this is dysfunctional. This is weird. A lot of the things that we grew up watching were just weird, and they didn't make sense, and they were mindless. And that's why we like. Here's the interesting thing. A majority of human beings are asleep. When I say asleep, I mean not aware of themselves, of other people, of life. They are in a program that has them believing things about themselves in a very specific way. And as a result of that, they're not living the best possible lives they could for themselves. They're comfortable. They're not happy, but they're comfortable. And they don't want to wake up, because if they did wake up, it would mean something that a lot of people really like to run away from. Change. People don't like change. People like things to stay the same, even if they're not happy, because comfort is what a lot of people mistake for happiness. And I know that I talked about this in yesterday's video, but that's just the reality of it. A lot of people mistake comfort for happiness, and they're not happy at all, even remotely close to it. A lot of people are actually exceedingly unhappy and in tremendous amounts of pain. But they're comfortable, and they don't like change, so they're not going to do anything about it. So they're going to continue to live exceedingly dysfunctional lives, indulge in exceedingly dysfunctional media that is completely mindless and has nothing productive or positive for them. It's the difference between, I like this analogy, by the way, and I'll leave it with this. Social media is candy. Things like books, that's the fruit.